So after all these years, you have director Reginald Hudlin and Eddie Murphy teaming up again. Of course, I would be looking forward to this. Let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Candy Cane Lane on Amazon Prime movie review. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. All right, guys, Candy Cane Lane. Like I said in my intro, I'm a big fan of Eddie Murphy and also the director Reginald Hudlin. If you did not know, they teamed up a number of years ago with Boomerang. That is a classic, especially in the Black community. And so I was hoping that they could have brought a little bit of that comedy over here. This is being premiered on Amazon Prime. So if you have that platform, go ahead and stream it at your own leisure at home. You may enjoy yourself. But I remember when I first reacted to the trailer for this movie on my channel, go check it out, or when I posted the first poster or promotional material, a number of my subscribers got really disappointed, like, oh my gosh, what is Eddie Murphy doing? When is he gonna go back to his prime, to where he was funny, he was bold? Why are we gonna continue with this silly family crap? And I said to myself, hey, this could be a lot of fun. It also stars Tracee Ellis Ross. I'm a big fan of hers. I like the director. I'm going to give this a chance. I don't see how they could mess it up. Now, again, this is being directed by Mr. Reginald Hudlin. If we scroll down and look at his filmography, it's pretty decent, okay? He did Safety, which came out a couple of years ago. I did see that film, reviewed it, and also there's an interview on my channel as well. He also did Marshall with the late, great Chadwick Boseman. That is a phenomenal film. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. And if we just scroll down a lot more here, you can see some of his older films that he did in the past, like The Ladies Man. That is a funny movie. That is a comedy. It's classic to me, kind of underground. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I had a lot of fun with that. The Murder Mac Show, Everyone Hurts Chris. And like I said, Boomerang, and also House Party. So he has some good films under his belt, but now let's see if he put some of the same energy that he got in those films into this new one, Candy Cane Lane. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film is all about. A man is determined to win the neighborhood's annual Christmas decorating contest. He makes a pact with an elf to help him win, and the elf casts a spell that brings the 12 days of Christmas to life, which brings unexpected chaos to town. Now, the first thing that I liked about this, giving my personality and sense of humor, is all of the dry humor and the sarcasm that came from majority of the jokes, mainly Eddie Murphy. He was one of the best things about this movie, just him being himself. No, this was not his prime. This is not him in the 80s or 90s. You're not gonna be laughing out loud that hard, but he is entertaining to say the very least, and I like the way that he is going about his everyday life, just trying to be the best husband, just trying to be the best father that he possibly can, while he's also trying to have a fun competition with his neighbors on winning this contest for the best streetlights that they have on Candy Cane Lane. I was able to relate to his character to a degree, kind of thinking the same way he was thinking as he's conversing with all of his surrounding peers, his neighbors, co-workers, etc. Whatever he was saying on the screen, I was saying to myself in my head, like, oh, ain't that about it, this and that? And I was chuckling to myself here and there. So Eddie Murphy was great. That is to be expected. And I did love the dry humor and the sarcasm that was coming from his character. Other things that I liked in this film were some of the supporting characters, and that goes to some of the news anchors and or reporters in this film. You can tell that they respected their job, but they necessarily wasn't in love with it. Just, hey, it may seem like success to you, but it's not successful to me. I'm here now. I'm still going to do the absolute best that I can, but I did not see myself in this career 10 or 15 years ago when I was in school at the top of my class. So you get more jokes that adults can relate to and dry humor there. People talking under their breath but out loud at the same time. It's funny. It did make me chuckle, and these are more characters that I can relate to as a young adult myself. I also did like the relationship that Eddie Murphy had with his wife, Tracee Ellis Ross. I'm a big fan of hers. She can do no harm in my opinion, and she did a great job in this film as well. She is going by the name of Carol Carver, and yes, that is the name of Eddie Murphy's family, the Carvers in this film, and they do look good on screen together. I was saying, hey, I wouldn't mind having a family like that when I grow up. That's a dream of mine. Put that on the bucket list. But no, Tracee Ellis Ross was fine. I was talking to another colleague of mine about this film before I hit record. Like, hey, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Well, I'll say what they said towards the very end, but they were not a fan of the apparel, hair, and makeup of Miss Carol Carver, Miss Tracee Ellis Ross. I really didn't notice anything there. But again, she was a delight. She was fine. I really don't have any qualms over her whatsoever. Another addition that I like is Miss Madison Thomas. I've never heard of her, but she is playing one of the 3 children by Eddie Murphy's character, Chris, by the name of Holly Carver. I like their relationship. They're kind of playing hooky, skipping school, but she is somebody that just is charming and innocent and just really pure at heart. And I love the father-daughter relationship that they had, the way they bounced off of each other. I thought it was cute and entertaining, to say the very least. And so again, I don't want to say that she's on my radar, but she was one of the better things in this film, because there may not be that much, to be honest with you. There was a few jokes here and there that did make me chuckle, but guys, for the most part, that is all I liked about this film. I mean, I also liked the competitive nature that a lot of the adults had by trying to compete with each other. And that was another high point, where they're turning on their decorations and you can see how extravagant they are. But as far as all the good things, that really comes to a halt right here. And I now have to transition to some things that I really didn't care for in this movie. And that's the main thing of who this movie was for. I do not think that this is for adults. I think that this film is tailored more towards children, and that's fine. You know, every film can't be for everybody, but it is disappointing given Eddie Murphy and all of his skills, all of his experience, especially with Reginald Hudlin directing this. I just don't understand why they was not able to put a film together that everyone can enjoy instead of just children, because the maturity level of this film is way here at the bottom. I don't know who to blame other than the writer by the name of Kelly Younger. This is Kelly right here. When you look at the filmography, he wrote a bunch of Muppet movies. Like, yes, well, writer right here, Verona, Candy Cane Lane, Muppets Haunted Mansion that came out in 2021, and Muppets Now that came out in 2020. That's all that this gentleman has wrote, and he produced those same films as well. And this may be the culprit right here, because last time I checked, the Muppets is for children, and so is this film as well. The writing was just too silly, too random, and just makes no sense in the real world. None of the adults in this movie would do the things that they was doing in real life. It just makes no sense. The way they were moving around, the way they were communicating, the way they was walking, the way they was running, the way that they was reacting to magic in itself. No one was really freaking out where you have humans turning into cardboard fixtures. It just was not realistic, and that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. And it's not just the adults either. In this film, the Carvers, Chris and Carol, Eddie Murphy and Tracee Ellis Ross, they have 3 children. They have 2 girls and 1 boy. I spoke about the younger girl earlier, Holly. She's fine. But the other characters, Nick and Joy, I cannot remember the last time I've seen a subplot being forced into the story this hard before. It was so unnatural and very, very cringeworthy. Nick, this character here, he wasn't good, he wasn't bad, he was just there, but his story was trash. They played him off to be one of the dumbest black people in the world, to where he just doesn't understand basic math. 50 plus 2 is 52. Oh, I'm a genius. They tried to be self-aware at times, but it just didn't work for me. I don't know why they played him to be such a doofus, but he doesn't turn in his assignments. He has a ton of zeros, but he's also some type of music connoisseur and wants to pursue that in life. But the way they present that in the film, again, just makes no sense. Small spoiler here, but there's a scene to where they go see the older daughter run in a track meet outside at the track and field, at the stadium, at the Coliseum, the arena. But for some reason, the son, Nick, decides to go into the school and just start playing music randomly out of nowhere at all. it just makes no sense. And they try to use that as a backdrop or motivation for some type of montage to show everything else that's going on in the movie with the other characters. It made no sense whatsoever. I was at home looking back and forth like, I wish I had somebody here to talk to because this is stupid, it's silly, and it makes no sense. They just threw that in there out of nowhere, and it was the most random thing ever. And just the magic in itself, the 12 days of Christmas is coming to life. And so they tried to bite off of Jumanji a little bit, but it just didn't work in the slightest. It came across corny. It came across desperate. And again, if I'm seeing the things that was going on in this movie, in real life, I'm going to react a completely different way than everybody else did during this film. And when we get to the third act, that's just kind of where everything falls apart with the realism. They have these small clay figurines that have come to life. And when they was first introduced in the film, they did work to a degree, but the film spent too much time on them in the third act. Just made this film anticlimactic. It was very cringeworthy. I couldn't get through it. I really wanted to, if I had to go see this in theaters, I really would have been upset. This may pass because you get the convenience of watching it at home. And if you're not really enjoying it, you can turn it off. And I really wanted to because I just was not enjoying this. I was saying to myself, what are they doing? This is silly. I don't know if anyone has seen Captain Marvel lately, and I doubt it because the box office is so poor. But there's a scene in that film where the whole civilization sings to communicate. It was that bad to me on that level. And I didn't mind that in Captain Marvel, but this was worse. I was saying to myself, who wrote this? Oh, we do know who wrote it. It's Mr. Kelly Younger here. And my goodness gracious, he should be ashamed of himself because this just was not good. This was awful. They have some cameos that pop up at the end, and that is shoehorned in as well. The hair and makeup looks like it was put together in the last 5 minutes. But this film isn't horrible, guys. It's just not good. And it's just a shame because you had so many talented people that were involved, and it seems like it's just going to go to waste. I did not enjoy this movie. It was kind of cute what they tried to do with the true meaning of Christmas, but in my opinion, this movie fails. But hey, check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. I will go ahead and give my rating for this at the very, very end, guys. But for now, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this video, please give me the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, helping me reach the next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. Leave a thumbs up, comment, share, all that good stuff. But if I had to rate Candy Cane Lane out of a 1 out of 10, I would give this film a 5 out of 10. Yes, a 5 out of 10. To me, that's failing. A 6 or above is passing, but I just can't give it the passing grade. It's just, man, we just needed much better writing in this. They dropped the ball there significantly. Guys, again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Cathavery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.